Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Generator Founder Series Spotlight. Today, I am joined by Tyrre Burks, founder and CEO of Players Health. Welcome, Tyrre.
What's going on, Troy, man? Really appreciate you having me, man.
Let's get started. Please start by just introducing yourself and your company. Tell us about Players Health and how did it get started and what do you guys do?
Yeah, I would say the Players Health started really out of my own personal journey. I grew up playing sports my whole life, uh, and I've been obsessed with really two things most of my life, really just sports and safety. I was a lifeguard through high school and college, and sports was a safe place where I grew up. And so when I decided to hang up my cleats, I played a little bit of collegiate. I played college ball, and I played in Europe and in Canada. My career ended due to injuries, and I wanted to create more safe spaces for athletes to play sports. We started as an injury management platform for youth and amateur sports organizations, really just tracking injuries and ensuring that organizations um, followed specific return to play protocols around how they return athletes back to play. And then we started realizing that risk was a lot more broader. Safety was a lot more broader within youth and amateur sports. And ultimately, we started doing abuse prevention, staff compliance, governance. All of this became really a risk management platform where we started really focusing on safety. Our mission at Players Health has been creating the safest and most accessible environment for an athlete to play the sport that they love. And about 5 years into that journey, we realized we had a unique data set. We understood what was happening on any court field or ice when it came to injuries or abuse related incidents, unfortunately, or anything that bad could happen. We understood what that was like, and we understood what was happening before an insurance claim happened. Um, at that time, it didn't seem like a wise idea then. A lot of people thought it was a bad idea, but to start an insurance company where we utilize that data to underwrite and price risk. And we were a new insurance company in the space, and the business skyrocketed. Today we support over 40,000 sports orgs. We just crossed over 100 million in gross written premium, which is like insurance sales for us. And yeah, Players Health has now come full circle where we actually are giving benefits or discounts to organizations based on them creating safe spaces. So it's been a journey. It's been 10 years now. And yeah, excited to be here, man.
So you answered some of that. My next question is, what's the current status of the company? So whether that's traction or customers or fundraising, you mentioned 100 million in gross written premium. How else would you answer that? What's the current status or traction of the company?
Yeah. So yeah, current clients, like I said, we support a little over 40,000 sports orgs. We've raised a little over $100 million in venture capital to grow Players Health year to date. We've just crossed over 100 million in premium, and we're just shy of 100 employees. It's like I think it's like 89 or something like that. But that's really where the company is right now. We're only US, and yeah, just trying to do good and do well.
Are you thinking about going international?
That is a dream, but right now we're just
Yeah,
trying to hyper focus on the US.
sure. And then where are you and the company located?
So our company, we're actually a remote company, but I'm based in Minneapolis, we're in Edina now. But yeah, we have about 20 employees in Minnesota, and then there's other pockets, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina. Um, we're a little bit of everywhere, yeah.
And why Minnesota? Is it just because that's where you live, that's where you came up, or?
That's a really good question. Actually, you guys played a huge role in that happening. You connected me. You actually introduced me to Koffenberg. Uh,
Yeah.
and so he was the CEO of Sport Engine at that time. Me and him hit it off. He was a hockey player, me being football. And I walked into their office at Sport Engine. It was in the northeast area of Minneapolis, and saw at the time they had 350 employees supporting youth and amateur sports. I had never seen a business like it, and I was like, I gotta be close to this organization. And they were launching a little incubator program
Yeah, I remember
and
you
pitch.
you you co-located. You worked out of their
Yeah.
office, right? Yeah.
So we kind of when we were coming out of Generator, you guys made that introduction to Koffenberg. We hit it off, and I called my wife is from Minnesota, so that wasn't a hard sell. I'm like, hey, we should move to Minnesota. I want to be closer to this company, learn, and you could be closer to your family. And here we are.
I love it. I love how that those stories weave together. When did you go through Generator?
We were just talking about this. I was fall 2015 Milwaukee.
2015. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And tell us more about your Generator experience.
Man, it was life changing. And I'm not just saying that because I think when I first started Players Health, I was fresh from playing football. I could barely balance a checkbook. Like I knew nothing about business or technology. I just had a really strong passion to create impact in this space. And I was learning it along the way. And you guys, you and Joe and I always say the earlier cohorts really got the best because we got a chance to work with you guys day in and day out. I think, because you guys are so big now, not being able to work with you all, I think is, it's definitely something that we got a benefit of.
Yeah.
But just sitting down, coming to you guys with, I can come with all the dumb questions, and I never felt like I was dumb. You guys always just, you taught me one, how to pitch my business, how do I go about delivering what we're doing, and how to think about the business in a way where we're solving a real problem. And yeah, you guys really just helped shepherd me along the way. I never felt like I needed to know everything. And it was just a really supportive environment. So I guess for someone that was really self-conscious about stepping into tech, building a business, not knowing how to build a business, you guys created an environment that allowed me to learn and embrace learning. And also really once you all heard my story, you were like, you know what, you got to tell this story more. And you guys put me in front of the right folks. So it was life changing for me, honestly.
I appreciate hearing that. Thank you for the kind words. How would you say the accelerator helped you the most? Is there anything that stands out in particular?
Well, I think there was a couple of things. I think when I first came in, I had I had a certain idea around how we were going to iterate. I think it helped me get to an iterative process around how we were going to get to true north. In the beginning, I had an original idea, and going through the accelerator, this you're one, it's forcing you to actually get in front of customers quicker, and it forces you to get in front of investors quicker. So you're getting real-time feedback around what is going to work versus what's not. And that's normally without an accelerator, you're probably doing that over the course of a year. You're now crunching activity of that year down into like 2 months. And so I think it just created a ton of iteration, fail fast, quick. And then when you're someone like me that likes to learn, I think it was the perfect environment for me to continue to keep that muscle throughout my life, throughout my journey in building my business. I think that was probably the biggest way. And then of course you guys connected me with investors. Before we ended our cohort with you guys in 2015, we had our $1 million raised. We were off to the races, and like it really just helped build a strong foundation for us to continue to grow.
And then having done an accelerator, more than one accelerator, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs and founders that are considering an accelerator?
I think what you put into it is what you're going to get out. I think a lot of folks may get into an accelerator and think it's just a mechanism for them to just get in front of investors and they're going to raise and be off and running. But I think you have to be holistic around everything that you get out of an accelerator. There's tons of relationships getting to know you all, the investors. There's tons of advisors and mentors that you all put your founders in front of. And the more you lean in, the more you're going to get out of it, the more you're going to learn, the more successful your company is going to be. But getting in thinking is just a mechanism to raise capital, I think is really short-sighted. And you got to really be holistic around how you think about the whole process.
What would you say was your favorite part? Can you like pinpoint on like what this is my favorite part of Generator, or maybe the favorite connection that you made as a result of the program?
Well, I love Mentor Swarm because it was an opportunity for me to hone my story. I got real time feedback quick, so that was one of the processes that I loved. I also love sitting down with you guys every week. We sit down. You guys would go through our pitch. You go through what problems we were dealing with, and I was able to ask. That's where I was able to like come with all of my questions and go like, here's what I did this week, here's what worked and here's what's not, and you guys help us kind of really think through it. There's not a lot of, and I was a sole founder, which was rare because you guys really weren't accepting a lot of sole founders at that time. But I was kind of by myself trying to like iterate this thing. So to have someone I can bounce ideas off of was actually like really helpful. And that's what I probably love the most, just being able to ideate with you guys.
I appreciate it. I miss it. It was fun. It's always fun doing that.
It
Uh,
was.
then the last question I always ask in each of these interviews is if you had one ask for the audience. So people watching this, if you didn't ask for the audience, maybe it's you're looking for an introduction or an investor or just general advice or customers or distribution channels. What would be your ask for this audience?
Oh, it's easy. So we're a sports company. We focus on youth and amateur sports, fitness. If you have a kid that's playing youth sports, tell the organization, the coaches, the administration about players' health. Tell them to think about, are they thinking about safety? Are they thinking about policies, protocols? Every person that watches this has a kid that's playing sports. So tell them about players' health, tell them to get to know us and help us spread the word because I believe that every sports organization in the world, not just in the US right now, but just in the US, should buy and offer the services that we're providing.
I love it. Well, thank you for the time, Tyree. Tyree Burks, founder and CEO of Players Health, went from being a solo founder, coming out of his own experiences as both a youth athlete and then college collegiate athlete, professional athlete, to build a company up to $100 million in gross written premium. Just congratulations on all the success, and thank you for being here.
Appreciate it, man.